All right, I wanted to come on and talk about the astrology for the year ahead in 2025. I've been doing a lot of year ahead readings for clients and actually working on my year ahead newsletter for the upcoming astrological shifts that we're going to see in 2025. And 2025 is a really big year. It is a year of change. It's a year of cosmic shifts because what's rare that's happening in 2025 is all of the outer planets, which move so slow, will be in new signs. And this happening all at the same time throughout 2025, we're going to see different points in which these planets shift, creates an energy of change is inevitable. Major changes are happening, not only collectively, but also individually. And I really feel that 2025 has like two distinct energetic signatures. The first half of 2025, we still feel like we're clearing out or closing out what began in 2024 and even before that, because some of these outer planet transits take years. For example, Pluto just shifted into Aquarius for the next 20 years, so that's a big change. Uranus has been in Taurus for about 8 years, and that's shifting into Gemini. Neptune has been in Pisces for about 14 years. That's shifting into a new sign, into Aries. Saturn, the last 3 years have been in Pisces. That's also shifting in 2025 into Aries. And so we start to see that these cycles, these themes that have been playing out for long periods of time in our lives coming to a close. We are finishing up. 2025 is also a 9-year in numerology, which is a karmic cycle is ending. We're closing things out before a 1 year comes and a new beginning. It comes into our life. So why I say there's two distinct kind of energies for 2025 is that the first part of the year, we actually start the year in retrograde energy. Mars is currently in retrograde in the sign of Leo, and then we'll retrograde back into Cancer, and that will be going on until about February of 2025. Then March 1st, we have a Venus retrograde that begins through April. Mars and Venus retrogrades don't happen all the time. Mars every 2 years, Venus every about 18 months. So these retrogrades are really important. And Mars and Venus have a lot to do with Venus is our values, our relationships, finances, creative projects, but really it's about our core values. Something about our values needs adjustment. We need to change something. We need to reflect, and we need to go inward to see, like, am I truly living aligned with my values? Have my values changed? Maybe what I value in the work I do, the relationships I'm in, is no longer the same, and I need to change it up. And so before we can actually enter into something new, we need to have these retrograde periods to reflect. Mars is about our motivation, how we take action, and how we go after our goals. So this start of the year, when we normally feel like really motivated to make a change, we aren't going to feel as motivated at the beginning of 2025 because we're more motivated to go inward and say, where am I putting my energy? Like, what am I focusing on? Like, is that exactly what I desire? And so with a Mars and Venus retrograde in the beginning of the year, it's less, let's jump and go after it. And it's more like, let me reflect, because the change is happening. But when I finally make this change, which it's coming, especially the second half of 2025, I want to make sure that I'm truly living in alignment with what I desire and I value. And so that what I call in is what's meant for me, not what's going to teach me another lesson that's going to fall apart, right? We want this new beginning to really truly be in alignment with our path moving forward. We also see the shift of the lunar nodes into Virgo and Pisces, which creates a new eclipse season and a new eclipse cycle in our life happening in the Virgo and Pisces areas of our chart. And we start our first eclipse portal in March, where we'll have our first set of eclipses, and then again in September. But again, all of this energy is throughout 2025. And then once we get through April and through the retrogrades and through the eclipses, we now start to see Neptune change from Pisces into Aries. Then Saturn's going to shift into Aries. And then we're going to see Jupiter make his shift into Cancer. And then Uranus over the summer in July shift into Gemini. So the second half of the year, we see the change start to happen. We see the shifts start to manifest. We see that we are ready to take action. And some of these, especially in the summer when we have Uranus changing signs into Gemini, we're gonna, like, it's unexpected, it's sudden, it's maybe like shocking change, but in a good way, right? Because Uranus in Gemini is a much better fit than where Uranus has been in Taurus, because Taurus likes to stay in his comfort zone, yet Gemini likes to push you out of that. So Uranus in the sign of Gemini is going to feel much more exciting and inspirational. A lot of ideas, a bit scattered, so we do kind of have to keep that grounded energy. And that's another big theme for 2025, is that we're moving out of earth and water energy and into fire and air, especially that second half of the year. And fire and air elements are more yang energy. So it's more outward expression. It's more take action. It's more, I'm inspired to go for it. Versus, water and earth energy, what we've been in with these outer planets in the earth and water signs, it's been like holding, it's been going inward, more yin restorative energy, where all of the outer planets are going to be in a fire or air sign. We're going to see a lot more change, movement forward, both collectively and individually. I mean, it's such a beautiful shift in energy, and it's needed because we have been noticing both collectively and individually where things need to change in our lives, societally where things need to change, and personally where things need to change. And you might have made small changes or gone inward to realize, yes, this is the change that needs to happen. But the action, the steps forward will happen this second half of the year. I'll do a little bit more specific individual readings and videos on, especially like the Venus retrograde, because that's a big one. The Mars retrograde, we've already kind of talked about, and the eclipses, especially for the first half of the year. But one of the things I will say overall for this first quarter of 2025 is, let's close out these cycles. Let's finish things up. Let's work on what we've already started and release and create the space for something new. This isn't the ideal time to take action on a new beginning. For some, you might take small actions, but these big major changes really will happen the second half of the year. So the beginning part of 2025 is slow, reflective, baby steps. If you want to know how 2025 is going to affect you personally, I do year ahead readings because it's going to affect us all collectively in one way and individually another way based on our birth chart placement. So book a reading with me. I also, in the caption, put a list of the timeline for the shifts in 2025, so you can save this video and highlight when we're going to see the cosmic shifts happen. So more to come.